Alright. Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming by to another Zero Streams. We'll begin drawing in just a few minutes, but I just wanted to get on mic real quick to say hi to everyone. Hopefully, I'm coming through alright. Hello, Tails Imp in the chat over on YouTube. Hello, Zigzagoon, and Mouse is here too. Hope everyone's doing well. Sorry to hear about your laptop not coming in, but I hope your order troubles get sorted. Ordering stuff is all sorts of crazy nowadays because of the stuck at home thing. But I guess they're doing alright, I suppose, since everyone needs to buy stuff and most people just order stuff online. Very convenient. The rats certainly appreciate all the boxes. I've been ordering stuff too. I got them a new toy that I haven't opened yet. I like to keep things in the hallway and let it sit for like 3 days before I go and disinfect everything. Mouse is here for the rats. The rats are doing great. They're out and about. I finally got my tripod back so I can angle a little better, angle it down at the ground where the rats actually are. And I got some tubey things to put over the wires so that they don't chew the camera. But I got them some yummy snacks in that bucket over there, the little ice cream bucket. It's full of water and rocks, and I tossed a few frozen peas. So if you see them fishing around for stuff to eat, that's some peas in there. And then in that bowl of yellow, that's chopped up eggs, boiled eggs. And under the eggs are some pasta, and then under the pasta is some frozen blueberries. I'm a little worried about the blueberries because they are rather staining. So hopefully they don't make a mess, but Domino, I think, has discovered there is pasta under the eggs, so you saw him like digging through it to get to the pasta. They really like the grains, but egg yellow is one of their favorites too. But a few days ago on Friday, June 19th, it was the anniversary of Jet's Black Nuzlocke, meaning at some point I probably looked up when the first episode was posted on DeviantArt, and it was around then probably. Either that or it was the earliest file I could find. Either way, I have it in my calendar as the anniversary, so we're going to do a little Jet's Black Nuzlocke drawing today. I am needing a new act cover. So, like, if you didn't know, my story is broken up into episodes, which is basically one update. The episode is made up of several pages, but I post it as one long form comic, and I call that an episode. And then a bunch of episodes grouped together, I call that an act. And Jet gets at least one badge. I think I've been keeping it pretty consistent, past one badge in the game per act, and we are about ready to get into the Dragon Gym area. So I definitely need to post a new cover before I post the episode at the end of this month. The episode is done. I just finished drawing it today, and I just need to put in dialogue, and probably some sound effects if I forgot any. But yeah, hopefully that won't take longer than 2 days. Gotta give myself a lot of time, but I think I have dialogue written somewhere. I just have to go find it. I'm not sure what document it's hidden in, but I do have dialogue this time. I just need to write it down. Hopefully it's not just in my head. So yeah, I figured today I will I'll put the D&D stuff on hold, do the act cover for Jet's Black Nuzlocke, and if we have extra time, I might start on the Patreon request this month. And so we'll see how it goes. What are they doing? They found something in the corner there? Oh. My boys like to free range, so I let them out of the cage as much as possible, especially since I'm at home, and I've finally gotten the playpen completely rat-proof. It is, they basically can't escape from it at this point. At least they haven't figured out how to, if there is a way to. The only time they've ever jumped out of it is if I accidentally put the lawn chair too close to the edge, too close to the fencing, and then they can get onto the chair and then jump out. But as it is, they pretty much can't get out, and so I can let them out of the cage and just do my own stuff. Sometimes I even leave the room, and they're just fine. The play area is really big, so I think they have enough stuff in there to do. Yeah, I'll start up soon, but since I'm just kind of talking, I don't have any drawing going on yet, so I figure we just have the rats do their thing. But yeah, I just kind of want to watch them. I haven't let them out today yet, but yeah, they really like being out. Alright, but it is almost time to start up, about 10 minutes to start, and I think we'll start up a little early today because we have a lot to do. Usually I start on the half hour. It's 7:20 right now. I was thinking to wait until 7:30, but I think we have a lot to do, so I might just get started. My brother just texted me, said, I caught 3 Dorados, one after the other. Are they supposed to be rare? If you don't know, we're talking about Animal Crossing. The Dorados are the golden fish, and they cost about 15,000, I think. So yeah, to me, I figure they're pretty rare, but he's just lucky, I guess. I at one point caught like 2, maybe even 3 oarfish, one right after another, so sometimes the stars align. But yeah, okay. They're so cute. But anywho, I think it's about time to get started. The rats will still be in the corner. We can enjoy their company. So today, we're going to work on the cover, like I said. But just earlier, I was figuring out the Folda just updated, but you're streaming. Guess as Silver's #1 fan, I will just have to go first. Oh, Tails. Tails, you simple imple. Just because you post first doesn't mean you hold a higher standing. As Silver's #1 fan is still right here, you guys. I did see the update. I got a notification on my phone, so I will check that out later. Folded is a great comic, you guys. You should definitely go read it by Amelia Knight. It's really good. But yeah, so this month's Patreon request was about Jet and Sunny, her Stunfisk, meeting a Galarian Stunfisk. And I was thinking, couldn't think much of, let's, shuffle the music. I always turn on shuffle, and then it doesn't work. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so here's my idea. Maybe you guys can let me know if it's good or if there's a better idea out there, but I wanted to include Red Eye in it for whatever reason, because Sunny and Red Eye are kind of like in the same bowl, as it were. But just showing them together and then showing Jet with a Galarian Stunfisk, and it's like going crazy, and then showing them again really worried, because it's like, I hope she ain't gonna put that in here, because it's already crowded as it is. And my idea was to maybe do a little animation. It's been a while since I animated anything, so if I have enough time, I can do a little animation on the Stunfisk, having it like wreath and chomp and wiggle about. But yeah, we won't be working on that just yet. Let's see. Need to open recent cover 3. So here's my template for the covers that I usually use. And yeah, I'm just gonna try and figure something out, because I don't really have a plan going in. I guess before we go into it, we can look at the others. So the first cover art I did was this one. And I don't remember, I think this one I drew as a cover, but I'm not sure. But it was basically because I had the funny idea to have Jet and Sir Francis with Bottles' glasses doing like cool Kamina poses, because this was right after the whole Bottles incident, right? It wasn't until way later that I had to go back and do a new cover for Act 1, so that's why the art looks so much more polished. And this was when I started thinking about printing the comic, so I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna need a cover. So I drew this for kind of the whole thing, but mostly for Act 1. Act 2, we got Just Like Nuzlocke, cool glasses. This one went from, let's see, Lenora's Gym. Lenora's Gym and then Castelia, I think? No, I think Castelia was the next act. So this one just goes through meeting N in the forest, catching a few Pokemon, and then beating Lenora and meeting Berg. And then this was the third act cover. This one goes from Berg's Gym, hanging out in Castelia, doing Berg's Gym, and then all of the desert, I think, might have been in this one. And in Act 4, we go from just leaving the desert to, let's see, Electra? What's her name again? Alessa's gym. And, of course, Lily is in the middle as the spotlight, but didn't want to, like, make it sad or anything as to, like, spoil it, but she's front and center, you know. There's a little weird white stuff going on in there. I might have to look into fixing that. Not sure what that is. Very odd. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Anyway, And then, did it end right there? No, there was a bunch of stuff afterwards too, where Jet was sad and everyone's sad and stuff. And then we send Lil Dog home, and then that was the end of the act. And then we do Act 5, which is in Driftvale, so starts on the bridge, getting Tutu, and then doing Clay's gym, and I think the Chargestone Cave is also in this act. Hello, Leonardo Mapache! Ooh, the ratties are eating. Yes, they're having some eggs and pasta, and underneath there should be some blueberries, some frozen blueberries. I don't think they've had that before, so I'm hoping they don't make too much of a mess. But I hope you're doing well. Mouse is like, is this the Doki Doki song? I like that song, okay? It's cute. I would put the end theme where she sings, but I don't want to have any songs with words in it. Act 5, and then we do all of Chargestone, and then that winds us up in Mistralton City. So you can see Mistralton in the back, and this is Act 6. They meet Skyla, they learn to fly, and then they get her gym badge, and we talk to N, and then that's it. And then it becomes Act 7, Twist Mountain in the background. Act 7 ended up being way longer than any other act, except maybe one, but it really got a little too long. I didn't expect Twist Mountain to be so long. It went from, I think my planned 1 to 2 pages to like 5 pages, I mean episodes. And then all of the Icarus City, all of the Dragon Spiral, and got a whole flashback that I didn't plan for. So like in planning, I'm like, okay, yes, Twist Mountain, Icarus, and Dragon Spiral, that can all fit in one, but got really long. But that's about where we are today. I'm still not really sure if I want Act 7 to end right when N leaves. And then Act 8 starts with Percy escaping, and then Percy escaping, Jet and Bianca and Charon talking outside the Poké Center, and then Jet and Bianca fly away. Or if Act 8 should start after that. Since I missed posting a cover, I guess putting it after would make, fine sense. But it could also go before. I'm not entirely sold. So the next one, I'm trying to think what is gonna go on. We have, well, in the game it's Opalucid and the Dragon Gym. I plan to have some characters come back, but we start at Lenora's gym because in the game you go to Lenora to get the White Stone. Zekrom just got released, so maybe I can put Zekrom in it, since that's going to be in the back of everyone's mind, Oops, I'm in the wrong layer. Wrong layer! It's alright, because I was using an eraser instead of the brush, so you couldn't even tell. As much as I don't want to draw Zekrom right now, it might make the most sense to have her in the background. And then, And then maybe... Jet in the foreground. Maybe she can be holding like the white stone in front of her. Though that that could look cool as like an Act 9 cover. Leonard's like, what a such a dynamic sketch. I'm jealous. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. I do very much enjoy my sketches when they come out right, and sometimes I like the sketches so much that I just like stare at them and I'm like, do I have to line this? I just want to post this. Like, why did I decide to go full colorful line art for my comic? But the color and the polish definitely adds an extra layer to everything. It's just when you're tired and you want to get stuff done, it's like, maybe this is enough. But no, I think I'm torn. It's like, I don't know if Act 9 should have Reshiram on it or if Zekrom, but let's try another idea. I could do something fun too, like instead of alluding to the actual act, I can do like a bunch of dragon Pokemon to show that it's the Dragon Gym next. That could be fun. You know, like Act 2 didn't really show anything that happens in Act 2 or Act 3. The Act 2 one is like, is pretty much Act 1. But it's the final scene of it. And then Act 3 is tangenting right here. I just noticed. But Act 3 is just random. It's just fun. So yeah, they don't really need to show what's gonna happen in the act. It's just a good starting off point. Having a bunch of dragons work, says Leonard, says Zigzagoon. Let me look up a little bit. Watcher Zigzagoon hated Act 4. Oh man. Da, 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 da. Let me see. I need to look up some dragon types. I have not actually drawn some of the dragon types. I have drawn Druddigon. Let's look up what's it called? What's the axe one called? You got Axew turns into Fracture, and then it starts with an H, right? I keep thinking Hydreigon, but that's the other one. I'll look up Fracture. Haxorus, that's it. Yeah, I've never drawn this thing before. Let's... Druddigon's head, you know, most people start with a circle for the head, but Druddigon's head is very square. It's basically just a cube, which is really helpful for how complicated it is. Ziggs was like, I was about to say Haxorus. Rodolfo! Hi, how you doing? Thanks for coming to the stream. Is there any other dragons besides these two? And then Hydreigon, obviously. Maybe you should flip it? Oops, not the whole thing. How do I flip this? Because I think there's a little more space on that side for it to cut into. Man, it works best here. It's just it doesn't leave much room for anything else. Oh well, at least the neck isn't actually this plain. It's got a lot of ridges, so there's some visual interest there. And then where do I put the Hydreigon? It doesn't fit. Got a cute track for me. I will take a look at it later. Oh! It's Virus! Good to see you again. Maybe instead of this being the Haxorus, maybe this can be the Hydreigon. It's always funny you greet me as Virus in the actual context of, oh, it's Virus. Good to see you again. And then Haxorus down here. Da, 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 da. I've done several compilation images before. I've done all of the dog Pokemon, all of the cat Pokemon, all of the owls, and rats, and seals. I haven't done dragons. Dragons are a big one. Sounds like a fun project. At least this is just all Unova dragons. Imagine if I had to try and fit all dragons. That would be a nightmare compositional wise. Maybe the haxers can be going like slightly off the page and then back in. No, I don't want them to accidentally kiss each other. Well, maybe slightly less chaotic. What if we had like a little more pulled out? Okay. Like that. And then have... The Drudgegon I drew before is very T-Rex-like. It's fun to take somewhat two-dimensional images that, like, when they draw Pokemon, like design Pokemon, obviously they do consider anatomy and such. But you've heard the people who point out the style of the older games versus the newer games, how the newer ones tend to use shapes that don't quite seem to match up depending on the angle. So it's always fun to see someone who draws them a little more anatomically, or just changing the reference. I think that's also a lot of fun. When they designed the Pokemon, maybe they had a certain animal in mind as the reference, and then like maybe also certain monster forms. And then if you take that and then you turn into a different kind of animal, what would that look like? Didn't we used to do a challenge that was sort of like that? Where I take a Pokemon and then we pull up a random animal and I make that animal look like the Pokemon. We should do that again. Probably not today, though. No, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this in a way that looks good. What else can we do? So let's see. Larry says, I've been recently working a lot on my card game project. I once told you it's about furries versus goths. And Larry's like, what about furry goths? Have you drawn every evolution? Technically I have, but Sylveon didn't exist yet. So, I have also technically drawn them all with Sylveon, but they were really chibi. So, but yeah, I've drawn all of the Eevees multiple times. I think anyone who does compilations gotta do the EVs at some point. Ugh, coming up with an idea is the hardest. I don't really know what Uplucid is gonna look like. Oh, hold on a sec. Looks like my mom needs help with something, so I'll be right back, you guys. It's just, I have a... Be right back. Enjoy the rats running around. The boys made a mess. Oh no, we made a mess. Oh my goodness. I'm back, you guys. They needed help moving the TV from the ground to the to on top of a thing. I don't feel like drawing a skyline. I already did like all the team. Maybe an updated team pick? No, that might be good for like the end game. Okay, so what if okay. Alright then. Since Zekrom was just released, I'll do this for Act 8, and then for Act 9 I can do Jet and N on screen, and then all of Jet's Pokemon. So we have like a full lineup. Maybe? Or would that be like too crowded? Anyway, in any case, I can at least have Jet and N both while this is more, well, let's keep sketching. I'm still quite partial to this, but we'll come back to it if I can't think of anything else. Min Min is really cute. Remember when Sylveon got released, the Pokemon Company kind of shipped her with Hydreigon. Really? Really? That's interesting. That's really interesting. I didn't think the Pokemon Company would ship Pokemon. Okay, maybe... Nah. Something with Lenora, maybe? Maybe have the stone? Because that's what we're looking for. And then something silly with everyone. What if I had like Bianca on her cloud and then Jet on her bird? And they're just flying along. Maybe I like the stone. I really don't like drawing the stone. Like, the shading is very strange. I don't have anything really as reference to how I'm supposed to shade it. Because, like, I imagine these parts are either flat or indented, but then this part is round. I'll check out this later, too. Recently listened to the Island of Armor music. Really liked Clara's battle theme. So I'll take a look at that. But didn't pay Swish. Still feel too mediocre to me. The Pokemon walking with you, like in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, is paid content now. And felt really old that the characters in battle talk moving the lips without voice. Still haven't gotten that DLC. I will probably get the DLC at some point, but it's not top on my priority. Still playing a bit of Animal Crossing. Tonight there's apparently a star shower, a meteor shower on my island, so me and my siblings are probably gonna wish on some stars. Okay, what if I move this over here? Foreshortening is rather difficult with characters. This arm would be going towards her. Symbolically reaching for it, maybe? Because she's looking for it. I've been playing a lot of Hollow Knight lately. I'm really starting to make progress in that game, and it's so satisfying when you finally get through an area or when you finally beat a boss. I recently got stuck down a hole. um went and smashed a hole and went down to an area without opening the gate that lets you walk back out again. So I had to do the whole area in order to get out. But I finally got out. I have plenty of areas left to explore. Hollow Knight is one of those games where every time I put it down and pick it up again, I get a little bit lost and confused. And I'm not always sure what it was I was doing the last time I played. It's just really like big and complex and stuff, but give it a few minutes and then I definitely start, like, it comes back to me like memories in a dank cave. Let me see if I can get Sir Francis's top a little bigger. As if... I thought about maybe streaming some Hollow Knight next month when I do my game streams. Which I'm not sure if I'm doing yet, but I kind of want to. But I was playing last night and my friends were watching me on Discord and like it took I don't know how long it took me, but it felt like at least an hour that I spent just going back to get this to fight this one boss rush, which was literally just 3 stages of like pretty standard grunt enemies. I do not think a Hollow Knight stream will be enjoyable to watch with me at the helm. Especially later game stuff. Because it wouldn't even be like, I wouldn't be starting a new game for it either. It would just be me continuing on what I already have. But yeah, I think I might just cut that from the itinerary because that's not gonna work. Who else can I get in here? If I can squeeze Sir Francis a little bit further back. Then I might be able to fit Fire Dog. Maybe a little bit smaller. You can cross over a little bit there. All right. Let's see. Still gonna, from what I've seen from the DLC, I can say the fashion is awful. When I played Swish, we did see the dude with the top hat, and if they're on par with that, the fashion is amazing. I think this is a little too squared off. So, like, I want this to feel random, right? With them just, like, floating around. But Sir Francis ends right here. July kind of cuts off here. Fire Dog's here. It just feels so squared off because I have this stuff blocking it. I'm trying to think how I can... Also, is it just me, or does it look like Jet's stepping on July's belly? Maybe move her down. To break that up a little bit. We were talking about the DLC in terms of, like, third game installments the other day, me and my friends. We were saying, like, some people, you know, like, could say the DLC is like, if I bought Ruby and then Emerald came out, I would have to buy a whole nother game just to play the extra content in Emerald, and I would have to play the normal game content again. So I'm like paying for 2 games, and like I have to redo stuff. So in that regard, the Swish DLC seems pretty alright, because I've already bought the main game. I'm just paying a little extra for the add-on stuff instead of buying a whole another $60 game. But then my friend pointed out that some people don't even buy the base game. In fact, I would assume most people who buy the third installment don't buy the base game, though I know for certain most of the people I know just buy both, because they're, you know, they can't wait, and then later it comes out and they want to play the new one. In fact, I have friends who do that, and they also buy like both versions of the game, which is just I don't know. I would never do that. I've always just gone with the red version. Whichever version of the two is like more red than the other. So my friend pointed out that there are people who don't even buy the base game. They just wait for the third installment to come out. So like that's like saying I didn't buy Ruby or Sapphire, and when Emerald came out, I bought Emerald. And so those people are actually losing out, because instead of just buying one game, they have to buy the base game and then pay extra for the DLC stuff, which is the extra content. So they're paying extra more than they would have. So they're losing out. So yeah, I don't know where most people stand on the whole DLC stuff, like, especially now that things that we had in other games, like Pokemon Following and all the, like, the new Pokemon that they're adding are now paid content. Seems a little weird. I would like for them to patch in old Pokemon as time goes on, but like for free. But I can see paying for the newly designed Pokemon. Like, I assume that's stuff they weren't able to finish on time for the main game, or they didn't even develop until the game was done. And the main game is a full game in and of itself, and so I guess that's fine. I've always assumed that if you're getting free DLC, you are essentially getting what you should have gotten in the main game. You've essentially like paid them up front for a complete game, and you got an incomplete game. And then later they just kind of patch in stuff that they didn't finish in time, which I know isn't always the case, but that's just kind of how it feels like. So like with Smash Brothers, right? They released a full game. It felt like a full game. And later they made new content for it, like new characters that they then went out and got licenses for and developed movesets for. So if you wanted those fighters, it was extra. So obviously you would pay for the extra. So I don't know, something like Pokemon walking, sure, I'll pay for that. If that wasn't something that you intended to put in the game and now you can, I'll do that. But like, it's not even the whole game that you can walk with your Pokemon in. I'll probably still pay for it to see like Score Bunny or I guess Cinderace running alongside you, and even if it's just a small area, I just love seeing all the Pokemon running after you in the Let's Go P game installments. Venusaur hopping like a toad. And all the Pokemon are in the overworld, so there. Oh, come on! There's honestly no reason they couldn't have done it in the main series. Though I hear the follow me function isn't very good. Like the tracking isn't very good. Like they kind of overtake you or they slow down too much. Which I feel like happened in another game, and they would just like teleport to you if they got too far, and was like really annoying. I don't remember which one. What makes the DLC worth it to me is new area, new story, new characters, right? New fashion, even if it's bad fashion, I don't care. I'm not that good at fashion. Most fashion that people consider good, I am not that into, so I don't know what good fashion is. Maybe if it's bad fashion, I'll be into it. The new forms of old Pokemon and the new Pokemon, that's a good addition. That feels like proper content to me. So yeah, I still feel like there's enough value there that I would buy it. Just at a time when I have more time to play Pokemon again. After I beat the main story, I kind of just didn't really pick up the game anymore after that. My brother wants to play the DLC. He just did a normal run of Sword, and he's trying to get my sister to play it as well. Okay, I'm gonna move Fire Dog maybe up here. Oopsies. What if he was on this side? Fire Dog, you're being a little weird right now. Race you. Maybe he's looking at Lil Dog. I want them all to be staring at the ball. His face is a little weird. Now that I've flipped him, the mistakes are coming out. The problems. Okay, let's catch up. Well, wow, you guys are chatting. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Tails is like the hole. Where you been? In the hole. Leonard said I'd watch it. Well, if maybe I'll do it as like a tag on at the end if I finish another game before the 3 hours is up. Because if you didn't know, the games I'm planning to play are some of my childhood favorites, including Spy Fox, Putt Putt, Pajama Sam, those kind of games. And being games for babies, I assume they're not going to take 3 hours to play. So if a game takes like an hour and a half, that'll be perfect. I can play 2 of them in one session and knock out a bunch. But if they take like 2 hours to do, I might not want to like start another one. So I could probably like play Hollow Knight as like a finisher at the very end. I was also thinking maybe I would draw something to finish off. But we'll see. We'll see if I can even get gaming set up. If at any point, just know I stream on Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you see streams popping up throughout the week, that's just me testing things. Disregard. And I will make announcements on stream and on the places I announce the streams if I change the times. Tail says I used to do both versions, then the third version. Leonard says buying 2 versions is only for collectors and completionists. Tail says I stopped at Sinnoh because I didn't have fun in Sinnoh. Which one did you do first? Do you usually like buy one version, play it, and then buy the other version and play it, or do you buy both versions at the same time? And which one do you usually go for first? Tail says chunking out the old Pokemon to sell back is gross to me. I really don't think... I'd like to believe that they didn't specifically take it out just so they can sell it back. Like I said before, there's a lot of other content that they're adding in the DLC that they're giving back. It's not just the old Pokemon. So I'm assuming with the extra time, they developed models and animations for more old Pokemon, and they're adding that into the DLC. So it's like, you're getting this other stuff, and on top of that, we're going to give you back some old Pokemon, is how I'm reading it. Of course, I'm just speculating, and that's how I would like to see it. It's very possible that they just took out old Pokemon, and now they're selling it back to us. Which, yeah, shame on you, Game Freak, if that's what you're doing. Especially since Pokemon is like $60 now. That's way more than anyone has ever paid for Pokemon in the past. I do feel a little bit bad for Game Freak. They've made it so that their roster is constantly going to be growing. They can never cut it down. And so the workload is going to keep getting more. And they can't sell it for more. Yes, they are selling it for more now, but that's because that's the standard price for Switch games. Which, quite honestly, is also like, why is this a standard price for Switch games? Some games are definitely not worth the $60, but whatever. I think that's how Nintendo has always done it. Very stingy about cutting their costs, their prices, I mean. Gigantamax starters totally should have been base game. It's a scam. I was very, very surprised that the starters do not get Gigantamaxes in the base game. That I will agree with that. Reef is here! Sorry I is late. I got another nostalgia trip for you. Alright, let me save that in another tab. Don't want to be listening to new tracks on top of my tracks during the stream. Doing another Pokemon Black run since I can redo E4 only once. La da 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 da. Posting game. You're right. Those games are easier, quicker when you know what you're doing. Both. I would buy one, finish it, then buy the second. Oh, that's kind of funny, Tails. Gen 4 is when I started buying both versions, plus the third version. Maybe the Pokemon bug jumped from Tails to Wheeler. You traded off. The universe was too small for both of you to be buying both versions. Some kind of balance had to be struck. Transfer up the old Pokemon whether you buy the DLC or not. Okay, so if that's been patched in, that you know makes it so that yeah, it's not just selling you back the old Pokemon. It's just they're patching it in as they go, and might as well give it to you while people are downloading a DLC. Which to me, that's perfectly fine. That's what I would expect. Okay, let's see. Speaking of DLC, I suddenly just now remembered that there is a Hollow Knight DLC. Where you get to play as our good friend Hornet. Which didn't mean anything to me back when it was announced, but now that I've played some of the game, I'm like, now that I just remembered it, I'm like, ooh! What? Excuse me? Yes, please. Gotta look into that. Okay, this is a lot better, I think. It feels a lot more fishbowl, toilet bowl, where things are in the middle and it's drawing your eye towards the center, you know? This toilet bowl effect. I got that term from a YouTuber who talks about comics. I was gonna say a YouTuber who talks about comics on YouTube, but that would be redundant and silly. Drake is like, I wanna hug July. I miss Resper's hugs. Okay, there are tons of those. Need to find where I record. Alright. I can keep talking about Game Freak and stuff, but it'll all be speculation and things, because I honestly don't have all the information on how they do things. So I'll probably leave that conversation there. Bottom line is, I'll probably buy the DLC, but a little later. The rats haven't even finished their food. They just made a mess and then left. Maybe I gave them too much? So, I have, been letting the rats out pretty much all day. And it's great because it means they can stretch their legs, run around, climb, do what they want. But it's not so great because their litter box is inside the cage. And so they've kind of decided that the corner of the room is their new litter box. I want to move July a little bit lower. Oops. Oops. Just slightly. So that she's more covered by the letters. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out if I can fit Major and Red Eye in here, but I think so. Put Sunny up there, and then Red Eye way down here. Maybe? I kind of like it. What do you guys think? It's kind of silly, but the other option is like really dramatic, and I think it might be I don't want this comic to start feeling self-important and melodramatic, you know? Okay, let's go with this one. Let's get some line art in here. Jet is also kind of silly, so it fits the tone. That's right. Exactly. Okay, so I could make a guide and draw in the circle perfectly. Or I could just draw circles over and over again until I'm happy with one. This is the real challenge. This is the art challenge right here. Drawing circles. I hate it. Circles are the worst. Well, it's smaller, but I think it does the job. I'm not gonna put any lines inside because I don't... Again, I don't know what it's supposed to look like. It's... The shading is weird, I don't know. I'm gonna turn off the border so that I can just line them fully like as if it's just an image like this. Tails is like, it's so miserable, how do you do it? Let's see. If you don't like it, since you have clip now, Tails, let me show you a better way to do it that will probably work for you. If you go into your guides, there's this figure drawing guide, and you can draw... Oops. A shape. And then get your brush and just trace it. And you can even use pen pressure to make it slightly thicker on some sides, slightly thinner on others. And then I have it mapped to A, but if you use your object grab tool, in Photoshop it's called the select tool, I think? The direct select tool, sorry. Direct select tool, it's the white, this arrow thing. It's called object in clip. You can move it and then draw another one. So you can use this like multiple times if you need to draw a bunch of circles the same size. You can even, you see all of these vector points? You can shape it as you like. So... Oops. Oopsie, where'd it go? Right, don't use circle tools. This is different because you're drawing it. But see, I didn't use the circle tool in a perfect circle. Because I don't like that. But if you wanted a perfect circle, you can do it. There is a time and a place for everything. But you see the difference between the circle tool and this is you have line variation. Well, maybe you should stop doing it, Zigzagoon. I'm saying don't use your shape tools because they just give you this shape, this cutout, this especially if you're gonna use, okay, if you're gonna use a perfect circle tool, at least do a thinner line. It looks better if you use a thinner line. If you have like a really thick line and it's just like that, it's so obvious that it's made with the circle tool. I like to have one part of it slightly thinner than the other. But of course, like, all of this is just general rules of thumb. Of course you can use circle tools. I just, looking at your stuff, Tails, I felt like it wasn't helping it, and that's why I told you not to use it. It wasn't just a hard and fast, never use circle tools ever kind of thing, but I just word things that way sometimes. Oops. Another way I used to do circles was with the ellipses. I would draw an ellipse, fill it in with black, and then draw another one smaller than it to cut out the inside. It's just, especially with my style, when I draw something that's a perfect circle next to my really wonky, squishy characters, it really stands out. If my style was more, not polished, but like more exact, I think, it would probably work. And if I rendered it different. Tails, you say that as if I haven't used the airbrush. The airbrush is just a controlled gradient. It's just most people use it wrong. So for a lot of things for beginners, it's like you just have to say, don't ever use it, because otherwise they'll fall back onto it as a crutch. I suppose I'm just confused because I don't see how circle tool doesn't help, but doing this would be helpful and not cause the same issue. The issue is the very, very... Do you need me to pull up your art, Tails, so I can demonstrate? The difference is the circle tool creates a line for you that is not consistent with your line art, because I can see the circle that you've applied is like perfectly the same weight all around. The stroke is the exact same weight all around, and it's perfect circle, whereas everything else you draw around it is slightly varying here and there, and a bit more squishy. Like even when you draw a cylinder under your circle, it just kind of, it sits funny because the circle doesn't have any weight to it, you know? Everything has a weight. If you have a ball and you bounce it, it flattens out. A fat Snorlax is wider on the bottom than it is at the top. And that's true with anything that's organic. Like a head isn't a perfect circle. It kind of has ellipses going on where the weight is thrown any which way. When you use the circle tool, it just... I can't even do it. Hold on. Where's my... Make a perfect circle. You know, it just stands out. I don't know really how to describe it, but it doesn't quite sit right. Maybe if you made the rest of it thicker. It has this like flash cartoon aesthetic to it, which maybe I'm just not a fan of. It's very possible that, like the airbrush, it's not my aesthetic and people are looking for that look. But it took me a while to get used to the way the new DuckTales or My Little Pony looks, because it's just that much more artificial. When I say to use this tool, let's say you make a perfect circle out of it. If your brush is big enough, you get the line variation. It's not great. I don't like this guide very much because it makes these weird little love handles at the intersections, but you can get it to work. And even then, like, see, I held shift to make this a perfect circle, right? And it just, I don't know. I just feel like it needs to squish a little. Just ever so slightly. I could use this. After squishing it a little, I could use that. Like, if I wanted, I could replace this circle with this circle. And it would have been a lot less painful to make. I think a big part also is we kind of have this sort of language in today's culture where it's funny to be extremist. Like, it's funnier for me to say never use airbrush and go crazy whenever I see it than for me to, like, be nuanced and be like, oh, well, like, every time I see airbrush, I'm not gonna give my, like, a whole lecture on, well, you see, most people fall back on the airbrush because they don't know how to blend, and so they use it, and then, but it still has a place, and you can use it for certain things, and if you understand how to use it, you can use it, and it'll look better if you use it in a certain way or with other tools, and gradients are good, and you know, hard and soft shadows in real life, and that's my TED talk. And then, like, no, maybe it's just funnier if I just say, ah, hiss, airbrush, no use. But then other people are like, no, I love the airbrush. And then I have to breathe a little bit and step away from the conversation, because then it just becomes okay. Alright. As with all things art, I can't make anyone do anything. And I'm not exactly like an art professor. I'm not trained to teach art, so I can't necessarily explain why I feel like certain things work better than others. And it's possible that I'm not even correct, you know? Maybe I've gone my whole life thinking airbrush bad, and then I'll discover later in life that the airbrush is the best tool and I should have been using it this whole time. I'm still learning. And I actually do use the airbrush all the time, because it's like a more controlled gradient tool. But I don't use it to shade everything, if I can help it. It's great for adding glow and ambient shadows. Extremism as comedy is great until I take it too far, and then I've bought into my own extremist ideals and can't turn back. And suddenly we're fighting a war over toast and butter. How many of you out there were like Captain America and went, I understood that reference. And yeah, Tails, it does give kind of the same effect. You're right. It's just that's why I didn't use it. That's why I put myself through the torture of not using it. But it can be used, I think. Especially if you don't wanna... Especially if you're doing a comic and it doesn't necessarily matter, you just need to get it done. Like... As Professor Oak always said, there is a time and place for everything. I have, of course, used it a couple of times myself. But not for things that... Like, I use it and I look at it and see if it works. And that part of the creative process is different for everyone. Maybe her mouth should be more like, oh, instead of ah. Maybe her legs should be more extremely kicked out. Mouse likes ah. I'm definitely gonna need some kind of cheat soon because we're gonna be seeing a lot of the white stone. Dun, 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 dun. Of course. Just because I don't use this shape tool doesn't mean my circles look good. The eye has such a thick line compared to the line of the hat that it still stands out. Let me see if I can fix it. My sister is better at art than I am. Yesterday was Father's Day, and my sister likes to draw, like paint images for holidays and stuff. So she asked me for some watercolor supplies. She usually does acrylic. So I was like, oh, trying out a new medium, eh? One that I've been like dabbling in for a year or so now. And she's like, yeah, do you have any, like, purples, blues, and, black and white? And I was, I could have been, like, push my glasses up my nose. Like, well, you see, watercolor, you don't use black and white. And all that. But I figure, just let her do her thing. So I gave her my color palettes. I gave her, the only black I had was a cheap Artist Loft one that I never used. I had an Artist Loft white as well that I never used, but I did have, white in my student grade Cotman set. So I gave her those. I also had a black gouache palette. So I gave her that. And then I told her this right here is the color I usually use for black. It's like a really, really dark bluish purple. So you can test that out. And also, people usually mix reds and blues to get purple. I don't have any purple. So she's like, okay. So she disappears for the day. And then she produces this, like, amazing looking painting of blueberries. It's like, it looks so good. I'm like, this is your first watercolor painting? That's not fair. She's really good. The contrast was amazing. I think I struggle sometimes in watercolor with contrast. Getting things dark enough. Yeah, I try a lot harder in illustrations to make things look good. I do not pay this much close attention when I'm lining for the comic, thank goodness, or it would take forever. Lately, I feel like I have been putting a little too much into the comic, because I don't remember it taking so long to complete pages before, but I also did it in a slightly different method this month. Normally when working on the episodes, I'll sketch everything, and then I'll line everything, and then I'll color everything, and then I'll do shading and backgrounds. But this time around I did it page by page. And I don't know if it took me more time or less time. It's hard to tell. I've never been very good at keeping track of time when I work on drawings, which is not very good when you're supposedly supposed to charge for commission prices, and people like to know what your hourly rate is. It's like, what hourly rate? I don't know how many hours this is gonna take me. And even if I did, it would probably conflate the price. Oh, I love July. Let's line her next. Where do I want to put her tongue? Maybe way back in the throat like that. I don't know if any of you have watched The Rise of the Ninja Turtles. I saw some GIFs of it the other day on my Tumblr, and I kind of love the character design in that show. Ninja Turtles is always a great series for me because it has a rat character, which is kind of rare. And I'm not sure what's going on because it almost looked like there were 3 rat mutants in the storyboards that I saw, but I'm pretty sure the small one is Splinter. And if that's the case, they made Splinter into Iroh. Like, I don't know personality-wise, they don't seem to be the same, but stature and design-wise, he looks like Iroh. And I like that the turtles are all, like, designed based on a specific breed of turtle. That's really cool. It sounds like there's a lot of other mutant animal creatures. So that's pretty fun. Wheeler's like, it does have some powerful character design. Lol, Zero and her rats. Oh no, your power went off, Leonard. I'm glad nothing got lost. Yeah, he's lazier now. Was he like an actor or something? I'm only like piecing together information. When do we get a show with snake protagonist? Or heroic wasp? We got the Bee movie, does that count? Soft shell Raph. Someone's a soft shell. Raph's a snapping turtle. It's a lot of fun. I remember I enjoyed the TMNT movie, the CGI movie. I liked their designs in that one too. The animation was quite nice. It was quite nice. Sharks that battle forces of your weight. There's a book. Splinter's shorter, lazier. I think there's an 80s cartoon on fighting sharks. I don't know if they were evil. I think they were the protagonists, actually. The fighting sharks. They were like these humans with shark heads. Design-wise. Oh. Evil fighting sharks, not sharks that are evil and fighting. Gotcha. They fight evil. Okay. Oh, fire's another thing that never gets easier to draw. So many times, Game Freak seems to think, what can we do to make this Pokemon look like it's a fighting type, fire type? And then they just set it on fire. A fire type can be anything as long as you set it on fire. Maybe I should make the fire floating upward? I don't know which direction he's falling. Maybe I shouldn't make the tongues so large. Tails is like, I mean, it works. Watcher says, is that a heart on July's belly? Yes, it is. Isn't it cute? Lizards have such a bad rep, as do sharks and bugs. Setting on fire does get the point across. Or douse it in magma, make it breathe smoke, make it red. It's okay. He doesn't know which direction he's falling either. Terrifying. I gotta remember how his arms look. It's so weird. Oh no, I probably shouldn't talk about it because the episode hasn't come out yet. I guess just know I haven't drawn Sir Francis in a long while. Wait, that sounds bad. Nothing's happened to him. I just haven't... He's just not in the episode. I'll use shading to do that part. Alright, and... Kind of? I just realized Sir Francis and Jet have the same pose. Kind of. Their legs do. Maybe not the rest of them. Okay. No, he's fine. He's just not in this episode. For other reasons besides death. It's been a long time since I read any books. And the other day, I found this YouTuber who was, I don't know if you could call it a review, maybe an analysis. I'd say it's a review. It's kind of like an overview, maybe, of the Maximum Ride books. I don't know if you guys have ever read those. They were apparently very popular back in the day. Apparently got the supernatural treatment in that it was supposed to go on for a certain amount of story, and then the creator just kept going after the story was over. But yeah, I really enjoyed his video, and I tried to look through his catalog of videos to see if he had ever talked about Cirque du Freak. Did anyone here read Cirque du Freak? There's I think they made a movie about it, called the Vampire Assistant at some point. I didn't watch the movie because I hated how one of the characters looked. But yeah, I loved that series as a kid. I'm kind of contemplating, and this is really dumb, but like I'm kind of contemplating rereading it, even though I'm absolutely the kind of person who keeps saying there's not enough time in the day, there's not enough years in their life to be revisiting media. But then I have such a bad memory that after some time has passed, I just don't remember stuff I've read anymore. Firedog looks way too angry. Let me fix this. He's not angry, he's just shocked like Jet is because they're falling in the sky and the White Stone is there. Yeah, like, I've definitely re-watched shows before, and I've reread, like, manga and stuff, and there are some novels that I have, like, read multiple times, but Cirque du Freak is, like, a novel series. It's like a YA series, I think. So it's way longer to revisit that. And I don't even remember if it's that good. I just remember certain parts of it really hit me emotionally. Ah. But more than that, I just kind of want to find someone who does review analysis of these kind of stuff, because you have so many people out there doing reviews, talking about tropes and stuff, about the Marvel movies, about comic books, about manga and anime. Maybe not manga, actually. I haven't found anyone who makes their thing just specifically manga. I think Digibro like has manga Mondays where he reads some manga and then like talks about the ones he read, but it's kind of freeform, and his his choices aren't usually there's no real rhyme or reason for them, so I can't necessarily wait for him to get to my favorites, or like even expect him to ever read them, since some of them are like really long. I know Best Guy Ever does talk about One Piece manga, but since I haven't caught up with One Piece manga, I can't watch any of that content. So yeah, I haven't really found anyone who's talking about Shaman King manga. Though I have seen a couple new videos out now talking about Shaman King in general. They've all been like really broad retrospectives, because Shaman King's getting a reboot next year, I think. So some anime YouTubers are starting to pick it up, as it is considered current event again, I suppose. But I haven't really found anyone who talks about book series. Imagine like one that discusses like, oh, there's a ton of people who talk about Harry Potter, I suppose. But can we get more talking about like I don't know, Redwall maybe, or what other books? Deadford Mouse Chronicles were fun. Obviously, though, my evil plan in all of this is just like how I don't have to watch a lot of anime, because I can just watch a lot of people talking about a lot of anime. I don't want to have to reread these books. I want someone to talk about them so that it can jog my memory about the books. That's the master plan. Because the video on Maximum Ride was great. It like summarized the story, so even I, who had never read the books, could follow along and then like pointed out what worked, what didn't, what they liked, what they remembered of it. Well, I guess there are some people out there talking about classic literature, at least. I remember I used to watch a lot of Thug Notes. That was fun. I don't know what happened to that series. Let me catch up again on the chat. Y'all think I would let my starter die? Like trainer like starter, Ripster Francis, 0, press X to doubt. Banished from this episode, and life! How old is Jet anyway? That's a good question. I think she was like 8 during the flashback. And after the flashback would have been at least shoot, now I can't remember how old kids are during which stage in life. Trying to remember. I think she's like in 3rd grade maybe. So she's 8, but maybe that's not right. I don't know what grade people are in. Shoot. She's probably around 13, 14, I'm gonna assume. Or maybe she's 15, 16. I don't remember. I never decided. Maybe I decided at some point. But, I don't actually know. I assume the protagonists of Unova are around 15. But yeah, sorry, I don't actually know. I might have written it down somewhere. Let's see. Zig says, can I recommend some books? Of course you can recommend some books. Not necessarily saying I'll read them since I'm really bad at reading books. But, yeah, go ahead. Why am I ready to fall asleep at 6 p.m.? That's good. Just try to stay awake a little longer and, maybe you'll get to sleep on time. Tails is like, reread it. Tails, a human who has the capability to read. Just do it! Me, an illiterate. What? Tails, we have the same time. Jet's like 9 p.m. right now. Yeah, it's 9:30 for me right now. Man, the music's really loud. I hope it's okay for you guys. 0. Time zones buds. Digibro is still around. Digibro still makes content, yeah. He mostly does rant videos for his patrons and then occasionally releases like a larger video. Wheeler says, I'm not ready to fall asleep. I hope you're getting stuff done then. Or if not, then enjoying your evening. Tail says, oh man, I forgot about him after he flamed himself out of the My Little Pony fandom. That's right. I forget that you were big, like, deep into the My Little Pony fandom and he came from the My Little Pony. It's so funny that you associate him with that. Sorry, am I shouting? The music suddenly got really loud on my end, so I started talking louder because I couldn't hear myself think. Anyway, Wheeler says, but I just woke up from a 4-hour nap. Maybe that's why? Actually, no, that probably wouldn't be why. When I wake up from a nap, I might not be sleepy, but I'm definitely not alive. For reasons that Tails knows, but I shouldn't say in public, I didn't sleep good last night. Oh, I'm sorry. Have you read Hatchet? Nope. Wheeler says Animorphs. Zigzagoon says Bionicles. Drake also says Animorphs. I heard about Animorphs being really, like, interesting. Like, they go to some interesting places in Animorphs. In a way that I'm kind of sad that I missed that train. The last book that I read was because it was about rats. And it wasn't a great book series, but it was about rats. So, I enjoyed it. There's a third book that I haven't read yet, but since the library didn't have it, I did order it, and it's sitting on my shelf, and I still haven't read it, but that's probably the next on my list of things to read. The last book that I planned to read was a Moomin book. I wanted to get into the Moomin series, but it's so long that I wasn't sure where to start, and so I decided to start from the very beginning just to see from where it all came from, and I just never got around to it. But we'll probably read that one next as well. But Animorphs should definitely go on my list of books to read. Is Animorphs chronological? Because I know there's a lot of them. And I might be mistaken, but I believe there's like different series within the series. Or maybe I'm just confused because the covers kind of changed after a while. But there is like a definite start. Like book 1 and then book 2, right? Or is it like each book is standalone? I kind of want to put his tongue in there somewhere, but it lines so closely with the tooth. Maybe I make his tooth longer? Oh, little dog. He was long a tooth. Kind of silly, but that was another reason why I didn't watch the Guardians of Ga'Hoole movie, is because I wanted to reread the book. But now I'm kind of thinking maybe it's better that I don't remember anything when I watch the movie. Maybe that'll make the movie feel better. If I just watch it as a movie instead of going, well, this was different and this was different. Which I am wont to do. Did you know I watched the first Harry Potter movie before I even heard about Harry Potter? And then I watched the second movie while I was reading Harry Potter 1. And then the third movie came out after I had finished the series. Or at least caught up to wherever it was. And I hated the third movie. Because by then I had read the third book, digested it, and then formulated my own interpretation of it in my head that didn't match what I saw on the screen. Okay. Let me catch up with the chat a little bit more. Oh, Leonard is leaving. All right, thanks for coming. Mouse says, don't forget the bill of her cab. Thank you, Mouse. I always forget that until I'm going into color, and sometimes I still forget as I'm going through. Tail says, music is good. Excellent. Not too loud. Zig says, still here, Mousy? Mouse says, I typed in chat like 60 seconds ago. Sorry, I'm slow. Tail says, Wheeler, you deserve the good nap. Technically, I missed the train too. Oh. For Animorphs, you mean. Okay. Started reading Animorphs in high school. Was the show all that good? Shrug. Or finished. The butt on little dog. Just draw Jet's hat but make it taller, triangular, bill front forward. For N. It is chronological, and there are different series within the series. Ooh. Complicated. Starting Animorphs for me is like picking up One Piece again. It's a commitment. it's kind of like the Pokemon anime, where you could technically say each book works as a standalone. Mouse says, what is that in the corner? What is that? That's Sunny. That's my Stunfisk. There's absolutely stuff you'll miss and not get if you try to experience out of order. Mouse will be on trial with Firedog as her lawyer and July as the judge. Why would Firedog represent me? Wouldn't he be the prosecution? No, oh yeah, stir fry then. No, Blue. Since Sharon's starters, power hungry and a fool. What is going on with Lil Dog's tongue? I don't know. It's in there. It's in his mouth. And Fire Dogs will be the same. And let's put the other fish down here. I'm just putting in the fish as a joke. Okay, line art is done. Maybe that'll work. Da 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 da. I think I gave July maybe one stripe extra than she's supposed to have on her tail. But it's fine. Whatever. No one's counting except me. Everyone would just assume that's correct. I guess the only people counting would be anyone who wants to draw fan art of her and then like pulls this up as a reference and then gets really confused because they probably got another image up as reference and then they're like, wait, the number of stripes is changing. Don't ask me which one is the correct one. Because I probably don't know. Ooh-doo-doo. I'll just leave it as is. Keep wanting to do something to it. I don't know what. Okay. Oh no, Jet, what's wrong with your face? Sorry, girl. Let me fix it for you. I don't know what expressions she's supposed to be making. This is her determination phase, I guess. This is her mystified. Final Jet realizes she has more to learn from this world. I think that's everything. Let's throw the color in now. I should have mouth colors from the last episode. Here we go. Oopsie. Okay. Got Jet's hair. Her bill. Her Bill Nye, the science guy. Da 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 da. Da da dee da. I think this is also hair. I'm gonna make that hair. Some of the colors that I chose for Jet and Sir Francis are way too dark. But now I feel like I need to stick with it, so I haven't changed it yet. Maybe eventually. Specifically the red in her hat and the brown in his face and body and stuff. Yeah. I even lightened Sir Francis when he evolved, I think. It was even darker as a Tepig. This brown should be the color that it is when it's shaded, not when it's normal. I probably can get away with just lightening whatever isn't shaded instead of changing it completely, maybe? We can try that. Red. With all my gripes about Clip Studio, I have to say it is pretty satisfying just dropping in color and watching it go in. I cannot deny it does at least do that very well. No, my internet. What's wrong? It seems fishy to me. Let me see. You did it right. She had one less. What do you mean? One less. Are you saying I'm missing Major? Because I just couldn't fit him anywhere. I want to put him in, but I just can't find a spot. Okay, I'm going to... Okay, just a sec. I'm going to make the spots come further down just so I can put in some red. If it's possible. Just like that. So I want to have red eyes red. Show a bit more. There we go. Da, 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 da. Oh, what? I've been drawing on a white background this whole time. Sorry, guys. I know that tends to hurt some people's eyes. Let's make it blue. They're falling in space. Let's move this up, shall we? We don't need this under all of these sketches. Okay. Do 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 do. Oops. What? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, July, you got a lot of teeth in here. Let's get your dental in. There you go. Oh, your toes too, eh? You get a pedicure, a little manicure. Let's color this in. Color your belt, your toes, your fingers, your teeth. The color's escaping a little. Let me fix that. Oh dear, I don't remember what color Sunny is. I think she was July colored with a little fire dog on the edge. Oh, sorry, I mean Lily. Little fire dog on the edge and then there we go. That looks about right. No, the middle part should be yellow. Like that. When I checked the page, when N was summoning Zekrom, she had one less tail stripe. Ah. Yes. Yeah, I always give her one more, depending on how long her tail is. When I check the page, all the white is blue. All the world is green. What's everyone on your team right now? What's their favorite food? Oh, interesting question. Oh, I want to say... I said something related to food with Jet before. I think her favorite food was like pizza or something. I don't remember. Would Pokemon favorite food mostly consist of berries? I guess they eat curry, so they could eat people food. Well, let's just decide now. Sir Francis? Likes blueberries. And July likes Basculin? I don't know. No, she hasn't had Basculin before. But if she had, I bet she would like it. Why isn't this showing up? Why is it? What's going on? It feels like there's a mask that had been drawn, but I didn't turn mask on anything. Okay, there we go. I never quite know how to shade in a hand. Like, she's reaching up for it, so would her hand be shadowed, or would it be the opposite? Yeah, there you go. Something that doesn't make sense. That way no one can question it. Something that doesn't look good, then no one will want to question it. Would really be nice if I had some reference. I guess I do have my hand, but it's not like I don't know what the shading in this situation is. I don't know where the light source is. Also, a hand is very complicated, so if I use reference too closely, it starts to overshade and look really weird. I don't want to put shadow on every single finger, but her fingers are so chunky, it's hard not to. Okay, this implied circle makes it look like it's the shadow from the ball, I think. Let me smooth this out. Smooth this out. So can I get a ball and toss it up in the air while I'm in the middle of the sky, and take a picture from above the ball down onto me? Yes, that's perfect. That's exactly the reference I need. Well, I'll come back to the hand. I'm sure I can maybe like look up a screenshot from Shaman King or whatever and get a reference. They hold their hands up and have mystical balls floating in the air sometimes. Let's get the rest of it shaded. Okay, let's look back. Zigzagoon's like, pizza! With pineapple berry? Sure. I've always wondered about consuming berries as normal snacks food thing because they seem to have medicinal qualities to them. You know? Like, you eat an orange berry and it heals you somehow. Kind of like a potion would. Though I guess in the Pokemon universe, eating a cookie or drinking plain water also does that, so maybe that's just... But then you have other berries that, like a persim berry, will cure you of confusion. That seems like a neurological condition that you've just taken medication for. Though I don't know how the awakening would work. Like, you eat a berry, and how do you even eat a berry? You're asleep. The frozen, like, do you stuff the berry in their mouth and it's so spicy it thaws them? Again, burn. Seems like a medical condition that you've taken something for. Or paralysis. But then, you know, like, just eating it by itself because you use them in, like, poffins and Pokeblocks, and apparently they're really yummy. They're, like, different flavors. I've always felt like an orange berry would not taste very good. My favorite berry is the Lepa berry. It started with its effect. Restoring your PP is something that is super useful, so I always had a ton of Lepa berries in Pokemon Ruby. Mostly because I tend to use moves like Thunder and Blizzard and Fire Blast. You know, all of those low PP moves, because my infant brain was like, power high, good move. So I would need a heavy dose of Lepa every battle or so. What did I say Sir Francis likes? Blueberries? What would July eat in the desert? There's what's in the desert? I know there's Darumaka. There's cactus. And there's Sigilith, which don't seem all that edible. Maybe Sandiles eat sand. Pekka berries for peaches. Pekka is an anagram. Pineapple pizza with ham. July would eat, like, Zebstrika or something. I don't know, I feel like Zebstrika would be too fast for a sand crocodile. Though, well, they are electric types and it's weak to ground, so I can see that being like a natural prey. You know what? Yeah, that makes sense. Or like Emolga, maybe? Emolga seem more bite-size. They're immune to ground moves, though, so I don't know how they would catch them. Maybe her favorite food is Audino. Her favorite food is victory over her enemies. Gotta get that sweet, sweet victory. What song is this? Oh, it's from Tomodachi Life? I don't know. It's very nice. It's very pretty and soft. Slalom. If we're going to pick favorite berries for each Pokemon, let's see. Or let's just first decide on taste maybe. So Fire Dog, probably spicy. July, would she be spicy too? She's very sweet, but I don't know if her palate, if her preference of food is also sweet, or if she likes it spicy. Lil Dog likes sweet, most likely. I feel like he's got a sweet tooth. Ha! And it's right there in front of his face. What other... Maybe someone's gotta like sour stuff, right? Maybe Fire Dog likes sour stuff. People are like, well, why so sour? And he's like, I like it. It's tastes good. I don't know. I feel like picking taste is just too random. And unfortunately, I don't have the game data anymore, so I can't look up what their tastes are. I can't just access that information anymore. Okay, let's see. Uh, the anime generally uses pekka berries as the generic snack berry since they're sweet. Zigzagoon is clocking out. Good night, Ziggs. Changed my mind. I like sour. Though I am feeling sleepy. Mouse says, is July okay? She's doing fine. She's fine. She does not like heights. Mood. I like heights, I just don't like falling from them. Favorite foods. So, Fire Dog and Lil Dog both grew up Route 1 to 3-ish, that area. I assume pat rats eat berries? And berries can be rather dry. So either they maybe like something really fresh because they haven't had it before and they're like, wow. Or they enjoy the taste of berries because it's like what they're made to eat. I bet they love cereal. My rats love cereal. For some reason. Rats' diets are generally grain-based. Seeds are a little too fattening for them, so you're not supposed to give them too much seeds. And fruit has too much sugar, so again, not too much. But grains ought to be alright. I want to try something. Maybe have Jet a little less deer in the headlights. I'm not sure, but let's try Oh, I forgot to shade Sir Francis's face. Maybe Sir Francis likes eggs. Maybe that's his favorite food. Because I drew him eating eggs off a table, like, just licking it directly. That one time. I think the problem with questions like, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? For characters is I don't know how to determine that. Because it's not like in real life you like food that reflects your personality necessarily. But it is fiction, so you could have it reflect the personality. But how do you decide? And, there's so much food to choose from. And it's also so, like, unconsequential that it's hard to remember when you've chosen one, unless you, like, write it down. Kind of like choosing a birthday. This character was born on this day. Like, I think Harry Potter was born in July of some day. What makes you decide on a number like that? I guess for Harry Potter it was, well, if kid goes to school in this month, then he should probably get his letter on this month, which would make sense for Hagrid to deliver it to him while also wishing him a happy birthday at this time. Or like for him to get his letter in the owl as soon as he turns... did I say letter in the owl? I mean owl in the mail? What am I saying? Rat Rascal is here! Hello! Watcher's like, but berries can't be dry. Isn't dry, like, literally a flavor in Pokemon? And then, of course, yes, they can. And they're disgusting when they are. I've had some really dry blueberries, and they get all mealy inside. Ugh. Victory Road, 50 feet off the ground, where everyone eats berries. Okay. This is what I got so far. Oopsie. Do I want to draw clouds? Do I want to do clouds? I probably want to do clouds. Oh, I don't have time for clouds. Well, that's all the time we got today, folks. But we have just about enough time for me to sketch a new Pokemon. So, if anyone wants to drop a Pokemon in the chat, and I will draw it doing whatever you want me to draw it doing, I guess. While I continue to fuss about with this. I don't know if this works. Something like this is what I have in mind. I don't know. And then it gets a little bigger maybe at the top. I shouldn't take too much longer. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, there's a meteor shower on our island today in Animal Crossing, so I think my brother wants us to play together and wish on some stars, which sounds delightful, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. So, I'm going to stop noodling as soon as I can and look at the chat and pick a Pokemon to draw. Haha, 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 I say, as I continue to noodle like there's no tomorrow. Okay, I don't know what's happening anymore up here. It's like turned into streaks. I've lost the toilet bowl effect that I had going in the bottom, so I don't know what direction these clouds are. I don't know what's up or down. I just know I don't hate it. It is coming together a little bit. I don't know why they're in the sky, but whatever. Okay, looking at the chat now. Draw Arcadia. She is very cute. Don't know if I can draw her from memory. Do a Scorbunny Primplup Arbok dynamic duo. Yeah, those are all Pokemon that I don't normally see together. It's meant to be a homage to 3 characters from an anime. Cedar with some Anu Matoron. I don't know what that is. Dang, go catch some meteors. You have until 4 a.m. Up all night. Oh, man. Alrighty, then. Okay, I chose a nice, pretty shade of purple. A very nice shade of purple. And, if I go right over here, I should be able to find a reference. If Wheeler suggests something other than Pikachu, how can I refuse? Let's see. Head's too big. Or ears too small. Either way, it gives off the same effect. I have to be honest, the last time I saw this kid was when she was attacking in the cave. So I'm not sure what happened between then and now, but she seems to have mellowed out a lot in the P and E shorts. But I'm gonna draw her with a bit of a attitude still. 'Cause that's how I remember her. She's very fluffy. I don't know what's going on with the lower half of here. This is what happens when you don't use a reference. No, I'm using a reference. When you don't use, like, a sketch. I mean, this is the sketch, basically, but things sometimes go a little wonky with the balance. Does she have a nose? All about the fluff, about the fluff. Oh no. Her tail's too big. Gotta shrink her down to get in that fluff. Just like a squirrel. There we go. Maximum fluff. Let me close this up. Let's shade that in. Okay, what do we have here? Spots, freckles. I hope these are right. All right, and there you have it. Aw, she's so cute. Y'all go read Wheeler's Nostalgia Lock yellow version, and then her P&P shorts. PEA shorts? P&E shorts. I don't know what the acronym is. The P shorts. Very cute, very fun. Return to Kanto with some nostalgic classic Nuzlocke style gags and good kids like Arcadia. So the PEA, the P and E and A, the Pikachu Eve Arcadia shorts. A whole child. There's no right for the spots. I randomly slapped them on every time. Although, why is the middle of her tail light? I shaded this because it's like to push it into the distance. And then it gets lighter as it comes closer, and then this is being blocked off by her butt. So it's more like, why is the whole big part of her tail so dark? Oops. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was shading or not. Oh, speaking of shading, her belly should be... Which I guess I could toss in some... Oops. Of this and some of this. And some of this. You know what would make it read better, I think, is if I carve out a bit here as it comes back around into the light. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that doesn't work. I'm just having fun at this time. I can't stop. You ever get started with like a little thing and then you just keep going? Anyway, I'm gonna sign off before I go crazy. Thank you guys for joining me. Where is my, there it is. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining me in another stream night. It was fun. I feel like we got a lot done. And we have one more stream this month. So we'll hopefully finish up the D&D Pokemon class thing that I have to do by the end of the month. And yeah, I will hopefully make a decision on whether or not I'm actually playing games next month or if I want to keep drawing. In any case, I'm gonna go wish on some stars, so keep your noses clean, everyone. Catch you all later. Have a great week. Bye!